Power, peace, purpose. Can an 8-year-old girl who can barely have the strength of bringing herself out of a wheelchair, can she be trained to become a world-class weightlifter? The answer is yes. This is what I learned from a little girl named Debbie. I went to visit a camp in which the children were facing oncology issues. Kids had cancer. And the doctors called me in to meet a young child. She had just had her third relapse. She just found out information that she had relapsed again. And of course, she became very depressed. She became very sullen. She totally withdrew into herself. And she refused to do anything, even knowing that her parents were picking up in 2 days to start therapy all over again. And the doctor said, could you talk to her? She's obviously very depressed. And she came in with her counselors into the room where I was talking to children. And I explained to her that I have an agenda. I'm looking for teachers. And that I have a special way that we have trained a lot of kids who are facing really tough things. How to breathe in this light and blow out this dark. So I just want to do that with you for 30 seconds. I don't want to do anything. Just leave me alone. I said, just 30 seconds, and then you're out of here. And she said, all right. And together we began to focus on breathing in light and blowing out darkness. I could see her little body begin to relax. And I said, could you do another 30 seconds? And she said, okay. 2 minutes later, you could see her body change. And then she asked her counselors to leave the room. She said, I want to talk to Rabbi G alone. And they left the room and walked down the hall, and all of a sudden she looked at me and she burst out sobbing. And she says, nobody can understand. When I was in nursery school and I got sick, I was so far behind the kids when I finally got back in kindergarten. It was so hard for me. But then I managed. And then it happened again in second grade. At the end of second grade, I got sick again. And by the middle of third grade, I couldn't compete. I couldn't function in school. It was so hard on me. Finally, I get to fourth grade and I catch up and I'm doing okay. And I worked so hard to get there. And I'm having a wonderful time in camp. And it's happened again. I can't do this anymore. I have the weight of the world on my shoulders. I feel like I'm walking around carrying 100,000 pounds on my back. And she was crying and crying. And she said, I've never shared this with anybody else, but I can't do this anymore. And of course, I started to cry with her. And I said, let's take another few breaths. And she, through her sobs, she calmed down. And then we did a meditation on the power of light to make us so strong that we could lift any weight in the world. And I told this little girl, as again she calmed down, I said, we're all connected to that light. And you've been given a ton of darkness. But when you breathe in the light and blow out the darkness and put that smile on your face and show your friends in the bunk and you show the counselors and you show your parents and you show the doctors that weight won't keep you down, you're going to be teaching them and they're going to teach what they've learned from you to their children and grandchildren. I said to this little girl, Debbie, you're a teacher. You're teaching the whole planet. And when you can do it and bring in this powerful light and blow out the darkness, you're bringing that entire light closer to this planet and you're illuminating everything. And you're so powerful. In just 10 minutes time, look the difference on your face and it's shining. Not despite your darkness, but because of your darkness. I promise you, you're going to be an amazing teacher. And her face lit up. And she says, I understand. I can be a weightlifter. I can do this. And when her counselors came back into the room, she said, okay, let's go to the next activity. What is it? They both looked at each other and began to sing with their little camper as they wheeled her out the door. That, my friends, is power, peace, purpose.